Julius Caesar, a towering figure in world history, wasn't just a military genius but a revolutionary leader whose ambitions and reforms shaped the Roman Empire for centuries. From his early struggles in the political arena to his legendary conquests and eventual assassination, Caesar's life is an extraordinary tale of ambition, power, and tragedy. Join us as we delve into the life of the man who forever changed the course of history. Born into a world of political strife and civil war, Caesar's early life was shaped by Rome's complex socio-political landscape. His family belonged to the patrician class, yet they lacked significant influence or wealth during his early years. Julius Caesar was born on July 12, 100 BCE, into the aristocratic but not particularly wealthy Julian family. His lineage traced back to Aeneas, the son of the goddess Venus, imbuing him with an early sense of destiny. His father, Gaius Julius Caesar, served as a Roman senator, while his mother, Aurelia Cotta, played a pivotal role in shaping his character. She emphasized education and discipline, instilling values that would propel him into the political arena. Young Caesar was exposed to the intricacies of Roman society and the importance of ambition from an early age. Caesar grew up amidst a tumultuous backdrop marked by the fierce rivalry between his uncle, Gaius Marius, a champion of the people, and Lucius Cornelius Sulla, who represented the entrenched aristocracy. This conflict reached a boiling point in brutal civil wars, profoundly influencing Caesar's understanding of political dynamics. He learned early on that in the volatile Roman Republic, power was the key to survival and influence. The civil wars also highlighted the fragility of alliances and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Caesar received a prestigious education, studying rhetoric and philosophy under eminent teachers, including the Stoic philosopher Apollonius of Rhodes. His exceptional oratory skills became instrumental in his later political career, enabling him to sway public opinion and navigate the complexities of Roman politics effectively. His education wasn't merely academic, it also included practical experiences, such as traveling to the East, which exposed him to different cultures and political systems, further broadening his worldview. In 82 BCE, Sulla's ascension to dictatorship forced Caesar into a difficult position. Sulla ordered him to divorce Cornelia, a daughter of one of Marius's allies. Caesar's refusal not only marked a personal rebellion, but also established him as a figure of defiance against tyranny. His brief exile during this period was transformative. He joined the military in Asia Minor, where he distinguished himself through bravery and leadership. Here, he learned the art of warfare, developing strategies that would later define his military career. Caesar's military career began in Asia Minor, participating in campaigns against pirates and earning the civic crown for his valor at the siege of Mytilene. An infamous episode during this time involved his kidnapping by pirates. Instead of succumbing to fear, he boldly promised to return and exact revenge, which he did shortly after securing his release. This episode not only showcased his courage, but also began to shape his burgeoning reputation as a formidable leader. Such experiences contributed to his military acumen, blending tactical brilliance with a charismatic leadership style that would become his hallmark. Caesar's early years in Roman politics were marked by calculated risks and bold alliances. He understood that power in Rome was as much about rhetoric and public perception as it was about military success. After Sulla's death in 78 BCE, Caesar returned to Rome, stepping into the political arena with a newfound vigor. His skills as a prosecutor gained him public admiration, particularly for his relentless pursuit of justice against corrupt officials, positioning him as a champion of the people. This grassroots support allowed him to challenge the elite's authority effectively. He learned to navigate the complex web of political allegiances, building a reputation that transcended his aristocratic background. His rise through the cursus honorum, a sequential order of public offices held by aspiring politicians, saw him hold key roles, from military tribune to quaestor in Spain, and eventually aedile. As aedile, he staged extravagant public games, incurring significant debt but endearing himself to the populace. This strategic gamble secured a loyal base of support essential for his future political ambitions, highlighting his understanding that popular appeal was crucial for any Roman politician. His ability to connect with the public, combined with his political acumen, set him apart from his contemporaries. In 63 BCE, Caesar's election as Pontifex Maximus, Rome's chief priest, greatly amplified his influence. This position not only linked him to Rome's religious affairs, but also positioned him as a figure of authority in both spiritual and political realms. His control over religious rites allowed him to consolidate power further and foster a connection with the divine, crucial in a society where religion and politics were inextricably linked. Caesar's political maneuvering culminated in the formation of the First Triumvirate in 60 BCE alongside Pompey and Crassus. This informal coalition allowed them to dominate Roman politics and exemplified Caesar's ability to forge powerful alliances through charm and negotiation. By aligning with two of Rome's most formidable figures, Caesar not only solidified his political position but also positioned himself as the central figure in this influential trio. This alliance was a masterstroke, allowing him to expand his military and political reach while carefully balancing the ambitions of his partners. As proconsul of Gaul, Caesar embarked on one of the most significant military campaigns in Roman history. His conquest of Gaul not only enriched Rome, but also secured his position as one of the greatest military commanders of all time. In 58 BCE, Caesar became governor of Gaul, seizing an opportunity to expand Roman territory and wealth. His objectives extended beyond mere conquest. He aimed to fortify Rome's northern borders against potential invasions from barbarian tribes. This was crucial for Rome's security, as the threats from the Gallic tribes posed a direct danger. Moreover, Caesar recognized that control over Gaul could significantly enhance Rome's economic resources, thus providing stability to his rule. Caesar's military campaigns showcased his innovative tactics. He rapidly adapted to varying combat situations, utilizing speed and surprise to outmaneuver his opponents. His engineering prowess was evident in his construction of fortifications and bridges, exemplifying his strategic foresight and logistical expertise. These innovations not only facilitated his campaigns, but also demonstrated his ability to inspire and lead his troops effectively, instilling in them a sense of purpose and loyalty. The climax of the Gallic Wars occurred in 52 BCE during the siege of Alesia against the chieftain Vercingetorix. By implementing double-wall fortifications and effectively cutting off reinforcements, Caesar executed a masterclass in military strategy. His ability to anticipate and counteract Vercingetorix's maneuvers showcased his tactical brilliance. This pivotal victory not only secured Roman dominance in Gaul, but also reinforced Caesar's reputation as an unparalleled military strategist. The siege demonstrated not only his military skill, but also his capacity to lead men in the face of overwhelming odds, solidifying his legendary status among his troops. Caesar's triumphs in Gaul translated into immense popularity among his soldiers and the Roman populace. His detailed accounts of the campaigns and Commentarii de Bello Gallico served both as historical record and political propaganda, portraying him as a heroic figure. The writings, filled with vivid descriptions and compelling narratives, ensured that his exploits were celebrated across Rome, further solidifying his status and power. This dual role as a military commander and a masterful communicator allowed him to shape public perception effectively. In 49 BCE, Caesar made a fateful decision that would forever change the course of Roman history. He crossed the Rubicon River with his army, igniting a civil war that would bring an end to the Roman Republic. As Caesar's power swelled, tensions with Pompey and the Senate intensified. Following Caesar's successful campaigns in Gaul, Pompey had grown increasingly wary of his former ally, believing he posed a direct threat to the Republic. The Senate, heavily influenced by Pompey, ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome, a move that would effectively strip him of his military power and political influence. This ultimatum underscored the deepening divide between Caesar and the traditional political structures of Rome. The Senate's fear of Caesar's ambition reflects a broader theme in Roman politics, the struggle between populism and aristocracy, as well as the fragility of the Republic. On January 10, 49 BCE, Caesar famously declared, "The die is cast, alia iacta est," as he crossed the Rubicon River, leading his legions into Italy. This decisive action marked a point of no return and ignited a civil war between his forces and those loyal to Pompey. Caesar understood the gravity of his choice. By crossing the Rubicon, he not only defied the Senate, but also initiated a conflict that would ultimately determine the fate of Rome. His boldness in crossing the river symbolized a willingness to embrace risk and a deep commitment to his vision for Rome, even at the expense of civil order. The ensuing civil war saw rapid military engagements. Caesar's strategic genius was on full display as he faced Pompey's forces. The battles of Pharsalus, 48 BCE, where Caesar decisively defeated Pompey, and subsequent confrontations exemplified his tactical prowess. He employed innovative strategies, such as the use of mobile cavalry units and effective supply chain management, which allowed his smaller forces to outmaneuver larger enemy armies. The quick succession of victories not only established his military dominance, but also resonated with the Roman populace, who viewed Caesar as a champion of the common people against the aristocratic establishment. Following Pompey's defeat and subsequent assassination in Egypt, Caesar returned to Rome as an unrivaled leader. His civil war victories solidified his control, but they also laid bare the deep divisions within Roman society. His reforms, including the reorganization of the calendar and land redistribution, were seen as both necessary and controversial, eliciting mixed reactions among the Senate and the populace. The Civil War fundamentally altered Rome's political landscape, highlighting the tensions between military power and republican ideals, a theme that would resonate throughout history. After emerging victorious from the Civil War, Julius Caesar assumed unprecedented power in Rome, transforming the political landscape. While his reign saw significant reforms aimed at stabilizing and modernizing the Republic, it also raised alarm among many who feared his consolidation of authority could lead to tyranny. In February 44 BCE, the Senate appointed Caesar as Dictator Perpetuo, Dictator for life, a title that shattered the traditional limits of Roman political office. The term dictator was historically temporary, intended for times of crisis, but Caesar's acceptance of permanent power signaled a dramatic shift in Roman governance. He wielded authority that was previously unimaginable, effectively sidelining the Senate and making unilateral decisions. This move was met with both admiration and trepidation. Supporters viewed him as a stabilizing force in a time of turmoil, while critics feared he was undermining the Republic's core principles. During his dictatorship, he took on numerous titles, further consolidating his power and creating an aura of divinity around his rule. His public refusal to decline the crown offered to him during the Lupercalia festival was particularly telling, as it signaled both his ambition and his belief in his destiny to lead Rome. Caesar recognized that the social and economic turmoil resulting from years of civil war necessitated urgent reforms. He implemented policies that targeted the root causes of social unrest, such as land shortages and debt among the populace. His land redistribution policies involved reallocating public land to soldiers and veterans, which helped to mitigate discontent among the lower classes. Additionally, he enacted debt relief measures, including the cancellation of debts and the reduction of interest rates, which significantly benefited the Roman citizenry struggling with financial burdens. These reforms were not merely altruistic, they served to cultivate loyalty among the masses, ensuring a robust support base for his continued leadership. One of Caesar's most enduring legacies is the reform of the Roman calendar. Recognizing the need for a more accurate and standardized timekeeping system, he consulted with the Greek astronomer Sosigenes, who advised him on creating a solar calendar. In 45 BCE, Caesar introduced the Julian calendar, which comprised 365 days with an additional day added every 4 years, a leap year. This reform corrected the discrepancies in the previous lunar calendar, which had resulted in seasonal drift. The Julian calendar was a monumental achievement that laid the groundwork for the modern Gregorian calendar, reflecting Caesar's visionary approach to governance. The widespread adoption of this calendar demonstrated his desire to unify the Roman Empire under a common temporal framework, enhancing administrative efficiency. Caesar's commitment to improving Rome's infrastructure was evident in numerous public works projects. He initiated the construction of roads, bridges, temples, and public buildings that not only beautified the city but also improved connectivity and facilitated trade. Notable projects included the Forum of Caesar, a grand public space that served as a marketplace and a center for political activity. This forum was designed to be a testament to his power and a physical representation of his connection to the Roman people. Additionally, he began work on a new theater, which would later become a central cultural venue in Rome. These infrastructure projects were pivotal in addressing the urban challenges facing Rome, contributing to economic stability and reinforcing Caesar's image as a benevolent leader dedicated to the welfare of his citizens. Despite his reforms and popularity, Caesar's concentration of power created a climate of fear and resentment among many senators. His willingness to bypass traditional republican governance and engage in unilateral decision-making alarmed those who cherished the republic's values. The political landscape became increasingly polarized, with factions forming around Caesar and his opponents. The growing perception that he aimed to establish a monarchy fueled discontent among the elite, who feared for their own political relevance and power. This tension culminated in the conspiracy that ultimately led to his assassination. The senators' belief that they were acting in the Republic's best interests highlights the tragic irony of Caesar's reforms. His efforts to stabilize and strengthen Rome inadvertently paved the way for his downfall. Despite his substantial contributions to Rome, Caesar's accumulation of power and the manner in which he wielded it made him a target. On March 15, 44 BCE, the Ides of March, he was assassinated by a coalition of senators, an act that signaled both the end of his life and a pivotal moment in Roman history. Tensions mounted within the Senate, with many viewing Caesar's rise as a direct challenge to the republican ideals that had governed Rome for centuries. Prominent figures like Gaius Cassius Longinus and Marcus Junius Brutus emerged as key conspirators, motivated by both personal grievances and broader political concerns. The conspirators feared that Caesar's power could lead to tyranny and the establishment of a monarchy, anathema to the Republic's values. In the months leading to the assassination, discussions among the conspirators intensified, leading to the formation of a secret alliance. This group believed that removing Caesar was their only hope for preserving the Republic. Ironically, many of the conspirators were men whom Caesar had favored and elevated, demonstrating the complex interplay of loyalty and betrayal in politics. On the fateful day of March 15th, as Caesar entered the Senate chamber, he was surrounded by the conspirators who had gathered under the pretense of honoring him. The assassination was not just a violent act. It was a carefully orchestrated plot meant to restore what they perceived as lost Republican values. According to historical accounts, Caesar was attacked by multiple senators, receiving as many as 23 stab wounds. His last words, reportedly et2, Brute, spoken upon seeing Brutus among his assassins, have become emblematic of betrayal and the tragic consequences of political ambition. The assassination itself, staged in the very heart of Roman governance, illustrated the deep fissures within the Republic. As he lay dying, the Senate chamber transformed from a seat of power to a stage of chaos, marking a turning point in Roman history. The immediate aftermath of Caesar's assassination was chaos and uncertainty. The conspirators believed their actions would restore the Republic. Instead, they ignited a series of civil wars that would engulf Rome for the next several years. The power vacuum left by Caesar's death led to a struggle for control among various factions, ultimately resulting in the rise of his adopted heir, Octavian. The subsequent conflict culminated in the defeat of Brutus and Cassius at the Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE. As Octavian consolidated power, he ushered in the end of the Republic and the dawn of the Roman Empire, adopting the title of Augustus in 27 BCE. This transition marked a fundamental shift in governance, raising questions about the efficacy of republican ideals versus autocratic rule. The irony of the assassination lies in its opposite effect. While it sought to preserve the Republic, it expedited its demise and paved the way for imperial rule. Julius Caesar's legacy is multifaceted and enduring. His life and death reshaped Roman politics and culture. His military conquests expanded Rome's territories and wealth, laying the groundwork for the empire's future expansion. The phrase "crossing the Rubicon" has since entered the lexicon as a metaphor for taking decisive and irreversible action. His political reforms, although controversial, addressed significant societal issues, such as land distribution and debt relief for the lower classes, illustrating his populist appeal. Moreover, his introduction of the Julian calendar standardized timekeeping in the Roman world, a system that influences how we track time even today. Caesar's writings, particularly Commentarii de Bello Gallico, commentaries on the Gallic War, provide invaluable insights into military strategy and Roman governance, showcasing his articulate and compelling prose. His legacy extends beyond historical significance. He symbolizes the complex nature of power and ambition. The term Caesar itself has become synonymous with rulers throughout history, embodying the tension between authority and tyranny. The lessons of his life serve as a timeless reminder of the consequences of ambition, the fragility of political systems, and the perpetual struggle between liberty and authority. Julius Caesar's life encapsulates the essence of ambition, power, and tragedy. His ascent from a young patrician to the most powerful figure in Rome reveals the complexities of leadership and governance in a tumultuous era. Through his military conquests, political reforms, and ultimate demise, we witness the delicate balance between authority and accountability. Caesar's legacy serves as a poignant reminder of the eternal struggle for power and the inherent risks that accompany it, urging us to reflect on the lessons of history as we navigate the complexities of our own political landscapes.